This is the Criterion Creeps podcast. And tonight we're talking about 49th Parallel from 1941, directed by Michael Powell. RJ, it's Powell and Pressburger all over again.
Is it?
It is.
Like the Powell and Pressburger?
The.
I think this movie is only credited for Powell, though.
Well, he has the director, but Pressburger's all over that writing.
You don't know that.
P and P.
P and P? Which P
P
is
and
your
P.
favorite of the P's?
Oh, wow. I mean, I have to go with Powell.
I was going to say PP or PP.
It sounds like power. Mike?
Rangers?
Maybe his name could have been Mike Power.
What about Max?
The director of the Red Shoes.
Ooh. Mm. Mm.
The tagline for this film.
Yeah.
The mightiest manhunt that ever swept the screen.
Have they seen Con Air, though?
And, there's not much of a manhunt in that.
Have they seen The Fugitive?
Probably not.
I feel like it's maybe not quite as accurate as they said then.
In the early days of World War II, a German U-boat is sunk in Canada's Hudson Bay. Hoping to evade capture, a small band of German soldiers led by commanding officer Lieutenant Hirth attempts to cross the border into the United States, which has not yet entered the war and is officially neutral. Along the way, the German soldiers encounter brave men such as a French-Canadian fur trapper, Johnny, a leader of a Hutterite farming community, Peter, an author, Philip, and a soldier, Andy Brock.
Real motley crew of Canadians.
Not a guy named Donnybrook.
No Donnybrook, but we got Peter Hofer. That's pretty good.
It's not too bad, bud.
I did like that.
Yeah, you like those Hofers.
Well, it's the full spectrum of what Canada has to offer.
That's right. 4 guys.
4 different guys. We have French Canadian, Hutterite, camping, eclectic author
who writes about Indians.
Yes,
That is his nomenclature.
But I did appreciate the that they were looking into the peoples who were of the region, because they were dropping, Blackfoot. They weren't just saying the quote unquote Indians of everywhere. They were actually talking about the Blackfoot tribes, and I was like, hey, that's neat.
Mm-hmm.
I said, that's neat. They actually looked at to see what these people actually went by. That's kind of a neat detail. Oh, and then there was the other guy. Well, I mean, you know what I mean. A lot of movies would of the era would probably just be like, they're all the same. There's no different tribes.
Oh, well, wouldn't they all be like Ojibwa or
I don't think they'd even go that far. They would just say Indian.
They're all Apaches. I think Apache. RJ. I don't know if you give enough credit to the writers.
Well, these guys, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I'm saying these guys did good, but I feel like other guys would maybe not try as hard.
They would try as hard. So, anyways, RJ, did you get filled with some patriotic glee when you realized that this film was going to be set in its entirety in Canada?
I mean, I was a little bit excited. The movie opens with a bumper thanking Canada and Canadians, and I said, "You're welcome."
You're welcome.
I said, "You're welcome."
You're welcome, 1941 audiences.
Yeah, I said I did it, I guess, for you. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you're welcome. No, I saw that and I went, hey, that's kind of neat. I saw it was Powell and Pressburger, and it was a movie about Canada, and I was like, hmm. So I forced Andy to watch some of it with me, because I was like, I think you might like this.
So yeah, I'm not sure. I think you like Nazis, right?
Well, the Canadianisms.
Okay.
Canadianism. This movie is, Nazi aside, this movie is just a good tour of some of the areas, the vastness of Canada. You see some Quebec, you see some Manitoba, you get a little bit of Banff, and there's talk of Vancouver too.
There is talk of Vancouver.
So there's a little bit of all of it in this one.
Did you catch the name of the Canadian advisor on this film?
Was it Jacques?
Nugent M. Kluger.
That's not a real.
See, and I knew you would say that.
Because do you agree? That's not a real person.
It is. I mean, it was 1941. Was a different time.
Nugent M. Kluger. That can't be a real person. That'd be like if your name was like Truffle B Swirls. I'd say no, it's not.
Hey, one of my best friends is Truffle P Swirls.
Yeah, best imaginary friend.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
So, anyways, we got Nugent at the helm in terms of being at the helm of our Canadianness being represented accurately. So, I think how did he do, RJ
Who, Johnny?
Nugent?
Nugent? I think he gets some of the Canadian stuff okay. I did
Yeah,
like, one thing that I did like was how no matter what kind of Canadian they were showing, whether it was the simple fur trapper, the laborer, army man, the fancy uh, author, or the lowland farmer, I thought they all kind of encapsulated a quality of like, it's like, they're like, hey, we're just here, man. We're just living. And if you don't want to live, then that's up to you, man. That's your right. But don't be telling us what to do. And they were all like, hey, this is Canada. Do what you want. You know what I mean? I thought that they all had a similar mindset. Like, do you know? Every
hmm
time is like, yeah, yeah, you guys are kind of crazy over there, but I won't hold you against you, friend. Just live and let live. Am I right? Canada, we do things a little different down here,
yeah, real different.
down north. You know what I mean?
Down north.
We would call it down north. You would say up north,
That's
but
right.
we would say down north. Yeah. So I did like that, and like a lot of the Canadian spirit, where they were lovable scamps. Jared. Johnny, what a scamp! He was
Well,
just
you're getting ahead of yourself there.
he was a scamp. You know what I mean?
We haven't gotten to Johnny.
We haven't
So,
gotten to Johnny.
what's going on? Well, we got a U-boat in Canadian waters,
Holy shit!
the Gulf of St. Lawrence.
Is this
By
true
God,
story?
by God, I mean, it might as well be.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
They got my blood pumping. So,
Yeah.
we got that U-boat sneaking around, blowing
Hmm.
up Canadian ships with fuel
Hmm.
on it. People getting slapped around, pushed back into the water as
Picked
they
off
went.
as submarines.
Yeah. And then they're like, we're gonna go deeper. We're going into Hudson Bay, the very
Hmm.
heart of Canada. RJ, have you ever seen the Hudson Bay?
Not in person. I've
Have you ever
seen
seen the
many
Hudson Bay
pictures.
Company? Have you ever seen the Hudson Bay Company?
I was in one less than 2 weeks ago.
Really? For what purpose?
Shopping.
Oh, do you get any blankets?
I did not get any pelts, if that's what you're asking.
No beaver pelts.
There was no pelts available.
What
I
did you
believe
have
I
to
believe
what did you have to trade though?
integrity.
I see.
Yeah, I
You,
traded
you,
a,
you, you, you had your HBC rewards card?
the one they always try. If you sign up for a Hudson Bay credit card, you'll get 25% off on all purchases
No.
for the next week. And then I went, "No, thank you.
Do you need new
Are
bedding?
are you sure?" He said, "Listen, man, I really need this." And I go, "No. No, I'm not going to." They do
Uh,
really upsell you on those Hudson Bay credit cards though.
well, that's where they make real money
I
off
know.
that unpaid off interest. They
How
love it.
how many people do you think they get a year? Like one? One person?
Oh, I'm sure they get plenty.
Signing up for the Hudson Bay card?
Yeah,
Damn. You hate to see it.
hate to see it. So, there they are in the
Hmm.
bay, but they're going to invade Canada.
They're trying.
I'm not exactly sure what their plan is.
I think their plan was because they mentioned a few times that it's kind of like it's not quite a full scale invasion, but like they talk about how they have like sleeper agents around and like spreading the word of like Hitlerism and things like that, where
Hmm.
it's like we have people everywhere and they are doing the little work, and so I think this one is like let's just see what happens if we like go in and take like a town of 10 people. Let's just see. And it's like maybe we can convert them all and then we can start there and then kind of work from the inside out, you know.
Yes, yes.
It is some mustache twirling type stuff.
Which is like, wait a minute, they're so like the world's just not ready for our ideas.
I mean, that is how they present themselves.
So
They
we
say,
gotta like
"Listen, fella, can I?"
we need sleeper cells to implant our good ideas because they won't we can't just talk about them openly because people shut us down for some reason. Even though we're so proud and confident in our ideas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then
Interesting.
every time they explain it, listen, they're like, listen, fella, it is like this. You come to the Reich, and we will treat
Ja,
you fair.
ja, ja, ja.
But if you don't, you will be punished. And they go, listen to me. I am already free. Oh,
Oh, well,
I,
so
I don't want to jump
we
ahead yet.
well, we're pretty much there. So,
Yeah,
anyways, some intrepid, I don't know, like, uh, Canadian Air Force types come flying
yeah.
over, or Royal
Dickie and
RAF
Papa.
RAF types. Yeah,
Yeah,
Dickie. Oh, those mustaches.
Dickie and I liked Papa. Let Papa have a try.
Yeah,
He
they
says to
they
himself,
they blow the fuck out of that U-boat,
"Yeah,
and they're we got them, boys. But they don't
yeah."
realize there's like, I don't know, like eight or so that did
Sh-
make it to
I think it
shore.
was six go to shore,
Six, yeah.
and then yeah, I think six or eight, somewhere in
Yeah,
between.
so they're there to look and go, ooh, now we're stuck here. We got to keep going. So they go to a trading post.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they
Yeah,
do.
and that this it's occupied by a British man,
Hmm.
a an Inuit man, and a French Canadian man, played by Laurence Olivier.
Jerry, I'm a little bit foggy. Is Laurence Olivier French Canadian?
No, he's a British man, but he will give it a college try, you know.
He sure, oh oui, he
What?
gonna give it his best. Mm.
We are introduced to him singing Farajaka in a like pub basin, like in the
Yeah,
shock,
washing
and
his balls.
jumps right out of that water, all buck naked to hug a
Hmm.
man because he's so French
He
Canadian.
he's so French. Oh, he
So
say
we
Mother France. I never been there.
hmm,
Canada.
that's right. So he's a
Yes, that's
trapper,
Canada.
a
Yeah.
French Canadian trapper named Johnny.
Hmm. Yes, he is.
So, anyways, these these Germans they show up and
Hmm.
they roughhouse him. They want to get a hold of the radio because they're out in the cold. There's a little bit of
Yep.
attempted deception. It doesn't go very long though, and then there's some roughhousing. And man, they really beat up that Inuit guy.
Yeah, they
They
beat
really
the
like
shit out of
yeah they really lay the butt of that rifle
Is
into
his
his
name
head.
Ricky or something?
Maybe.
Or I don't know. It doesn't matter. Yeah, they beat the shit out of that dude. Who
Or Nick, or his
Nick.
credit, his credit is Nick the Eskimo.
Yeah. Although, um, I don't think he was. I
His
don't think
name
he
is
was an Inuit person, but you do get a bunch of actual Inuit people in this, which I thought was cool later on.
yeah. When they get gunned down, yeah. No,
Yeah.
Leon is a Chinese man.
Yeah, that's um
He was in Black Narcissus.
was he?
Yeah,
That's cool. So they liked him. But yeah, there is like they do have lots of actual indigenous people in this movie. And like yeah, some scenes are getting gunned down, but I thought it was cool that they had him there at all. They brought him in as extras. They probably paid him. I was like, that's cool. They're
right.
trying to like have real people in this. You know about real people, Jarrett?
About real people.
Okay.
Oh,
Good.
and it is six of them,
Six? Yeah.
so their plan is they're trying to get to America, the land of neutral opportunity, because at this point, when this movie came out in October of 1941, America had yet to enter the war.
At the
No,
time, yes.
no Pearl Harbor yet.
Yeah, not yet, not yet, man. And I did see that
But for us Commonwealth boys,
hmm we
we're
were
in
there,
the
baby.
yeah, we're in the Dominion.
Was New Zealand also part of
Sure,
this?
sure was.
What do you think their role was?
I don't know. I'm
Hmm.
not sure. It's hard to say.
Throwing boomerangs and jumping into kangaroos, taking it to Hitler that way.
Yeah, yeah.
Damn.
The
Yeah.
the Rue Squad.
Oh, they're ooh, I like the Roo Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Dangry Doos and stuff like that.
So anyway, we get some heroics. But of like trying to like stop these Nazi bastards. Um. and they're somewhat successful, but also unsuccessful as Johnny gets it.
Hmm.
But poor, brave Johnny. But heroism, RJ. Sometimes you got to pay a higher price to for the greater good. You know.
So the thing about Johnny, when he is being spoken to of the war, he says, "I don't know why this." He says, "I don't know why this should affect French Canada." He said, "What do French Canada have to do with the Poles?" He said, "I don't know why we should fight for them." But Jared, here's the thing. This is the message of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Once the war knocks on your door, maybe you're gonna think a little bit different. Because
Oh
Johnny
man.
was like, "I don't know why I should help," and then Germany comes knocking, and Johnny says, "I must do what I must for the country, for Canada, as we are free. These are bad men, Jared, very bad men."
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is the intent of this movie in general. It says, "Hey, America, we
Luckily,
know."
I'm glad I gave Devin Vincent a trigger warning about this episode.
Oh no, come on. I took French for years in school, Jared. It is our second language. This is not offensive.
We
Oh, very. But I
yeah,
took French. I'm allowed to speak French. It's
accurate.
part of my culture, man.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I think Johnny is the encapsulation of what this movie's trying to be. Where it is like
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, you might not care, but hey, any of these days, Hitler and his buddies can be knocking on your
Any
door
any day?
any day, any day.
Wow, how
And then what are
timely.
you gonna do,
What are you gonna do
America?
about it, bud?
Mm-hmm.
As they point to you.
49th parallel, longest unprotected border in the world.
That's the problem.
Mm-hmm, hmm. But
So
yeah, they
anyway,
get Johnny, which is
they
too
got
bad.
Johnny, and then they managed to steal a plane
Mm-hmm.
after they
For
fuck
a
it.
bit,
They kill the pilot, and they just start mowing down some Inuit people running away.
they do.
And there's like one where it's like this, like, I don't know, dead mother with like a baby. You're like, whoa, hardcore.
This movie was
Uh,
hardcore. It showed a
yeah,
lot of stuff. I was like, damn.
no, but plane's got too many people on it.
Yeah, they got a little too much weight,
Yeah.
my man.
But so they're like, hey, we gotta get lifted up. So let's get rid of some of this extra weight, which also includes some guns. But one of these guys, they catch a bullet from the people back on the coast who go, yeah, we killed one of them.
Mm,
Which is weirdly enough to take the load off, and they fly to safety. But
yeah.
no, then they wind up just kind of having issues and crashing in a lake, and now Manitoba. You know about Manitoba, RJ?
Uh, I I've never been to Manitoba, but my dad has many
Oh,
times.
did he ever
Brandon, Manitoba.
did he ever visit the grave of Lieutenant Kunik, who dies in this plane crash?
He did not, but he was in a hotel once, and the hotel crew came into the room with a bunch of beer because they thought no one was in there, and they were gonna have a party in that room.
Oh boy.
So he got the night for free, as I'm sure you figured out.
RJ, what do you know about Hutterites?
Oh, Jarrett,
This
Jarrett,
is this has been
what would you
discussed.
like? What would you
This
like
is
to know about Hutterites?
this has been discussed on the podcast before.
Yes, yeah, many times because I know Hutterites aren't uniquely a Creepsville thing, but I'd say now there's more Hutterites in Alberta, Saskatchewan, maybe Ontario, than probably anywhere else. Like Hutterites are starting to become a just a Canadian
Are
prairies thing,
are
I
are
think.
are they going mainstream?
Well, that's the thing about
Ask
Hutterites.
a CBC headline. I'm sure.
I mean, that's the thing about Hutterites. They like to kind of lay under the level, you know what I mean? They just kind of do their thing. They don't want to make any waves. They don't want to disrupt anybody. They're just kind of doing their thing, you know? Just doing their thing.
Hmm.
But I have spent many or much time with Hutterites, Jarrett. So any questions you have, I'd be happy to
Well,
answer.
all the questions I had, I feel like were answered here in 49th parallel,
Well,
but maybe not.
I do have to say that the 49th parallel has probably the most well spoken and morally guided Hutterites I have ever seen.
Okay.
Not saying that others aren't, but that man delivers quite the quite the speech, and you go,
So,
God damn.
you talking about Peter?
Yeah, Peter Hofer, which I'm assuming, and I'm not saying that because I'm a bigot. Like a lot of Hutterites are just named Hofer because it's like some of it is like after they, if they become Hutterite, like part of that thing is like, there was like John Hofer, and then there was another one. It was like it's kind of like the Muhammad thing. You know what I mean? It's like they take on that name. But yeah, Peter. Yeah, he's very well spoken. He's very well spoken. And hey, you know the thing about the Hutterite colony, Jarrett, is kind of rocks the Nazis' beliefs to their core. Some of them, at least,
Well,
because it's
because
almost a brand of communism.
well, they're all talking German
Oh well,
on
yeah.
this colony, and of course the Germans are like, oh well, look at
hmm
this couple of right-minded individuals here.
They said our sleeper agents must have been hard at work
Mhm.
because they're too.
There's whole
They don't
farm.
know what
There's whole
Hutterites are.
there's all farm communities that talk German. I mean, we did it, boys.
I do. There's a couple Hutterites I know really well, and one of them actually like went near Germany one time, and he was speaking like Low German,
Yeah.
and he said not nobody in Germany could understand him. So like where we are now in 2020s, the Low German of the Hutterites I think has started to drift away from God in terms of High German. You know what I mean, Jer?
Mhm.
But yeah, the boys they feel like they're safe. They say, "Hey, some good German speaking folk here."
Well, and there are some uh, Hutterites formerly of Germany that have left
Yep.
Germany as a result of one Adolf Hitler.
Mhm. Mhm.
Oh, that's one thing too on the I forgot about in the U-boat. There's like a nice little photo pic of like Hitler giving something to like a little girl. And you go, yep, those Germans they love Hitler.
What do you think that he gave that little girl?
I don't know, a
Like a
flower.
knife?
That night go get him.
Go get him, champ.
Yeah.
Oi. Yeah.
So anyways, these guys they have the wrong cues here. They think
hmm
that everything we're safe in this social democracy. We have some friendly faces because they look like us, they talk like us. Everything's gonna be smooth sailing, but that's not the case. Peter doesn't have a lot of time for this bullshit. This Nazi crap.
Well,
And
it's just like Johnny, where the Nazis are preaching freedom and rights and stuff like that, and Johnny and Peter are both like, "Hey, listen, you come into our house talking about freedom." He says, "We're living free. What are you doing, brother?
bro,
Brother."
come at me, bro. So, anyways, so one of the remaining sailors, he's gonna like meets a nice maybe a nice Hutterite girl. He's gonna settle down, raise some
Well,
barns.
the
But
colony needs a baker, and hey, back in Germany, he
I
just
used to
happened to
I
have
used to
been a
be
baker.
I used to be a baker.
Yeah, and he likes the mindset where he says you guys just kind of help each other. It's like yeah, you do whatever job you're most suited for, and he goes what?
Like communally,
And they
like
say no, no,
as in a commune.
as in a commune. He said yeah, man, you want to bake the bread, you bake the bread. Who gives a shit? Just try to
Yeah,
make it good.
one for nothing.
Yeah, and so that dude's like, you know what? I like this place.
So
I'm gonna
anyway,
stay.
so he gets summarily executed for desertion and treachery.
Yeah, pretty much
Uh,
instantly.
right off the hop. Yeah. You're sorry, bro.
And
It's not gonna
yeah,
fly, bro.
we know you want to stay, but we're gonna kill you instead. So
Yeah.
goodbye. And then,
So they take so that yeah. Now we're down to three,
mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they hit the road, Jarrett.
and they go to visit Guy Madden in Winnipeg.
They do. Yep.
Yeah.
They walk from Lower Ontario to
Oh, no,
Winnipeg.
it was in like
Oh
Manitoba
yeah,
still.
they started in Hudson Bay. So yeah, they pass Winnipeg, and then they walk through all of Saskatchewan,
Oh no,
and then
but so they get to Winnipeg, and we get some scenes of them like walking around looking in the windows, and like like the kids staring at a big window. It's like hands on the glass and tongue going. Mm-mm. We gotta get some grub.
yeah,
Uh,
and you're
the
like, man,
sights and
Winnipeg
sounds
looks awesome.
of nighttime Winnipeg. They
hmm
sell some belongings. I'm not sure if it's guns or not, but they sell some
It's
belongings
I think
to
yeah.
they pawn it over to get some food. and they decide, hey, we got a plan. We're going to go to a little place called Vancouver, and we're going to walk there. It's only
From
two.
Winnipeg.
It's only 2,000 kilometers.
They say, ah, man, we do that in an afternoon, no problem.
I think like, without bedding, like change of
Eh,
clothes. It's like they would have
Without
like
anything.
they could have froze to death.
Their feet would be bleeding and like
Oh
they'd be
yeah.
hypothermic within like 2 hours. But
Yes, your distance between
Winnipeg to
Vancouver
Vancouver,
and Winterpeg, as
Winterpeg.
it's called. Yeah, it's like 1,159 miles. So yeah, just under 2,000 clicks.
What is the on maps? What is the walking time? Like if you select
Oh,
walking, what does it
okay.
say it would take?
Let's figure it out. I'm gonna click on it to Google Map.
Because
Beep, boop,
that's a
boop,
good
boop, boop,
feature.
boop.
We
That
we
is a
have
good
the
feature.
technology.
We do.
We can
Okay.
do this.
19 days.
Oh fuck, that's nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that last week.
Yeah, it would take you 464 hours. That's a continuous
Non-stop.
walk. That's nonstop walking.
19 days non-stop. That's nothing, man. That's
Yeah.
nothing.
There's
Yeah.
no that's no sleep.
Terry Fox did it.
And then you have to walk through the mountains.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
How far did Terry Fox get?
Can't
Since this
remember.
is the Canadian episode,
That's right.
unofficially. Because where did Terry Fox start? Did he start west or east? He started west, right?
Let's see here.
Or did he start east? They gotta teach more Terry Fox in school because I don't remember it or shit.
First section. So it was actually Newfoundland, RJ.
Oh, so he started east, and then how far did he get? Like Manitoba?
There's no Thunder Bay.
Oh, he didn't get too far, eh?
That's
Well,
pretty
that's still.
far.
What was he running for? Like 3 weeks or something? Like he ran for a long time.
5 months.
Holy shit. Okay, so Newfoundland to Thunder Bay, Ontario. That's a pretty good stretch.
Yeah.
Five
So
months.
St. John's,
Yeah.
and
Well, he had to catch the
then
ferries over too. Think about that.
yes, there. Then September 1st. So that was 5,300 kilometers, which is
God damn.
over twice the distance it would be from Winnipeg to Vancouver.
And he did it on one leg.
You know.
Have you ever seen those videos of Terry Fox where he's taking off his like prosthetic leg and how like banged up he looks?
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, that'd
god
be
damn.
agony, RJ.
Yeah.
So,
The more you know.
so these guys start walking.
Yes, they do.
Because they're like their other ideas. Getting across this border is getting tricky. We're gonna have to get to Japan, our friends in the war.
Mhm.
So they walk. So there's a montage of them walking. You see hay bales. Walking. You get to see some prairie life. It's almost like they're saying, "Ooh, this is like a travel brochure. Come to Canada. Take
Yep.
take in the sights."
Yeah, they encounter an old man changing a tire,
Yeah,
and the Canadian people are so friendly. They help him out, and he says, "Hey, listen, friends, share a Coca-Cola with me, because that's
Mhm.
just what we do here in Canada.
A
You help a
sody
guy
pop.
out, I'm gonna give you a sody pop, just to say thanks." And you know what they do? They fucking kill him, Jarrett.
Well, they sap them.
That guy's so old, he was 100% dead
Yeah,
after they hit him on the head.
they have a wrench and they hit him in the back of the head. He
Yeah,
could be fine, but they got his
could be.
car.
They
They
got
got
his
his
car.
They get his car, and then I think they drop the car, and then they switch
Go to Banff.
gears to on a train,
Mm-hmm.
which takes them to Banff, Alberta,
Have you ever
during
been?
during Banff Indian Days.
It's a
Mhm.
It was a celebration. They said
Yep, that's right.
at the time. They said it was a celebration.
Hmm.
Yeah. Have
But
you? Did you recognize any of that scenery, Jarrett? You
oh,
ever been there?
I have been to Banff.
Yeah. Even where the big thing is in there when they're speaking out of the microphone. Pretty sure that's at one hotel. I think. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, anyways, a Canadian Mountie, he's like, we know these lousy krauts are around somewhere, and they're probably right here at this very moment. To have a look around you, give them a real up and down, and we'll get them out, rouse them. And of course, one of the guys actually breaks, and
Well, I love how they describe him. They're like, he's described as a small man, a wiener of a man, a nervous man, constantly sweating. you'd be embarrassed just by looking at him. And the guy's like, oh,
That's
he's like, oh
me.
no, they
And,
got me.
and then he makes a break for it, and they promptly arrest him. So
Yeah.
one down, two to go.
Yep. Yep.
So the other two escape, and so they venture further into the mountains, and
Yep.
of course they come across. Um, is it by boat?
He's
They're-
on a canoe.
yeah, he's on a canoe.
They're walking, but he's
They're
on a
walking
canoe.
along, yeah, and they come across this writer named Philip
Yep.
Armstrong Scott, and he's
Hmm.
like, "Oh, splendid! Let me show you my teepee. I'm writing about the Indians." Yes,
He said, I
uh,
don't see many folks up here.
that's right.
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, anyways, he brings them in. Um, it's one of those weird things. It's like, yeah, they're in this big
Tell
backdrop
me
with
what you
this
mean.
paintings. Well, I do know that the German tourists they love Banff, RJ.
Do they?
They do. They love Banff. They love indigenous objects.
Oh,
They have a
like
real
they claimed some?
they have a real fetish for it. They love it. They're
Mm.
here for it, RJ. So
Yeah.
that was what this bit reminded me of a little bit. But anyway, um, it's these guys are really bad at like holding back. You know,
Well,
they,
they get they're very easily pushed. This guy's like he's like, yeah, what do you he's like, oh, you guys might be German. Or he doesn't even say that. He's like Hitler's weird. He's like the
Mhm.
war's crazy. He doesn't even say anything like oh outlandish. He's just like, yeah, that war's crazy. That Hitler guy is crazy.
Yeah, but it's just like it seems like it doesn't take much for someone to be like to set these guys off. And they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa! You don't talk about my Hitler like that. I'm trying to we're trying to sneak through this country as like we're down to two and we started at six and in unwelcome territory and you guys are bad mouthing us. Maybe we should shut up for a little bit.
Mm. Well, that's the thing, man. You know, that's the thing. They
Yeah.
can't control themselves at all.
Uh, yeah. So, anyways, the things break down, and yeah, we get this cool scene with the writer and this like group of I guess it's like cops. It's like RCMP maybe, where they're like walking through the woods with a gun, and they're like walking through the bullets because they've stolen the writer's gun, and he's counting
So
how many shots remain, and
yeah, he's such a badass.
he's such a bad. He starts counting off the gunshots as they ricochet off of him or like away from him until that last one shot it hits him in the hip. And he goes, "Oh, four, get him, boys!"
So
Oh,
yeah, so what happens is the guy he's very he tries to be nice to him. He talks to him about art, about Matisse, and
hmm
he offers them drinks and cigarettes in a scene that Andrea was watching this and so he's like care for a cigarette and he opens up his little case and then the guy puts his hand in and grabs all of them and she's like that's you. And I was like, "Hey." I was like, "Easy.
isn't that
Easy."
that's Paul Schrader?
That's Paul Schrader taking it. I only got one left. Oh, that'll do. No problem.
That's okay.
That's okay. Uh, so he offers them lots, or he offers them stuff. They take lots, and then yeah, they get too thinly skinned, and so they tie him up, and then they burn up his paintings and stuff, and they try to run away, but they're bad at it. So yeah, his buddies unleash him, and then yeah, he gets a really badass scene, just walking by the bullets, just bouncing
then he
all around him.
then he
And then he
beats the one.
beats the
He
shit out
beats
of that
the
guy.
beats him unconscious.
They're like, the boss knocked this guy out cold. And he's like, well, I guess you could say democracy wins. He doesn't say that, but he does quote Goebbels. He's like
Okay.
one armed Superman against an unarmed, and I think he says like what does he say? Like a decadent Democrat or something. He's calling himself a funny boy, is what he's doing. He's like, what would Goebbels say about that? You know,
Goebbels?
you know about Goebbels, right?
I don't know about Goebbels. Gobbles.
It's funnier if you say it like that. Because
Goebbels.
fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy. Yeah,
You know?
pretty much.
Yeah.
So
So then,
anyway,
yeah,
the last
down to
man
one.
standing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's going to get on a train. He crosses paths with Andy. Andy, a Canadian soldier.
Hmm. Hmm. They're hitching a ride on the train together. Right
That's
there.
right. But again, Earth. He's like, I got to get to that U.S. side. Then I'm
Hmm.
scot free.
Mm-hmm.
He makes some
So
chat with this Brock fellow, and again, he gotta take what's his. Going to take his uniform, his dog tags. So he's like,
mhm.
I can be a soldier too. And
Yeah,
then he gets to Niagara Falls because yeah, the movie like backtracks
yeah.
from all the way from Banff all the way back to Southern Ontario, where we do get a drop, an audio drop,
Oh.
with a CBC broadcast talking
Mm-hmm.
about some town called Creepsville, Alberta, and you
It's
go,
even shown on a map.
it's shown on a map for a half a second, and you go, wow, is this it? Is this the last episode of the Creeps? We were waiting for the collection to finally acknowledge us, and here it is.
Here it is. I mean, I was thoroughly surprised, Jared. Thoroughly surprised. Should I
Shook.
I was shook. Should I post it in the Discord or just let that one sit? I did get a screenshot.
You do what you need to do.
All right, I'll do it.
You do it, you dangerous bastard.
I am dangerous. You have no idea how dangerous. You have no idea how dangerous. Okay, I'm gonna
Very
post it
dangerous.
into Creepsville proper because that's where it belongs.
Well, I mean, Crucial's really gone downhill in the last 3 hours.
Because of what we're doing.
Oh, that's nothing to do with us.
Well, what happened in Creepsville?
Uh yeah, you can catch up on it later.
Well, where do you get your news?
Creepsville.
Yeah, I know, but where are you getting this news? Because I haven't heard anything.
You read it for yourself.
Creepsville News Now?
No. Like, on our Discord.
Oh. Oh, I see. I didn't know what was happening. I thought you meant the
Okay.
real place.
Okay.
I was like, what the hell is you talking about? Oh, I see. I see.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Bad stuff.
So bad things. Bad things. So anyway, uh I guess like I don't know, the movie just kind of like wraps up where like Brock's like, hey, that guy's a bad guy. You should send us both back to Canada. Because we're
Well, the train guys are gonna do like because the guy's like, this is the law. You must you have no authority over me. You must take me to the like
the
the
German
consulate.
embassy. Yeah.
Yeah, the German embassy, diplomatic community. You are not in the war, and these guys are like, well, he does have a point, Skipper. They said we don't agree. We don't
Mac.
agree. We don't agree with that Hitlerism, but he does. He is within his legal rights, and it is our duty as a democratic nation to see that he gets his rights. And then the kind of real plain guy who he's just like, by golly, I wanted to travel the world, but I got a wife instead. That guy. He's like, but wait a minute. He said, we is not registered cargo. Don't you have to send us back? We're not on the manifest. You got to send us back because it's your protocol. That's the rules. And the trains guys are like, you know
Yeah,
what?
you got us on that technicality. When
Said
you're
this.
right, you're right.
So this son of a bitch has a point. Send him back, Johnny. Oh.
And then Brock beats the shit out of him.
Yeah.
That's
Which in a there was a
the
line
end.
I like too because he's got no pants on and he's smiling and it cuts back to his smile like 6 times and he's like smiling like crazy. And
Mhm.
he's like, I'm getting them pants, not by asking, but by taking. And then you go, holy shit, what's about to happen here? And then it happens.
That's
It happens.
sick. So, anyways, that's the end of the movie.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
This movie didn't need to be 2 hours long.
2 hours and 2 minutes,
Yeah,
Jarrett. Over 2 hours, my friend. Over 2 hours. Yeah. So tell me how you really feel.
I don't know. It's like fun from like a
Okay.
Canadiana standpoint.
Yep.
Um, but other than that, it's just like a World War II propaganda movie
Yep.
that's got the Canadian adjacent novelty.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Laurence Olivier really earning his keep as one of the great thespians of the 20th century as Johnny the fur trapper.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't know. Other than that, it's like it's fine there.
Yep.
It's not. It's in context of the the Criterion films we've been watching. It's like right in the middle there. It's good enough.
Mm-hmm.
there's just so much bad. It's actually like jumps ahead of the pack. But
I agree.
in the grand scheme of movies, it's kind of like, yep, it's
Hmm.
just there. It's there.
Okay.
It's okay. It's fun, but
Okay.
not like in a way where like, oh guys, this has got such good like every Canadian should watch this because it's so quirky or anything like that. It's just kind of like, yeah, it's like a World War II movie set in Canada. It's probably the only time in movies that Lethbridge is said aloud in a movie that has Laurence Olivier in it. That can't happen anymore because he's dead. But
Well, and our city doesn't exist either anymore, so
no,
it's about to be taken out for good, is what I
forever,
heard.
forever.
Forever. Yeah. What were we talking about?
I don't know. This movie, it's
Okay.
fine. It's there. RJ, what did you think of 49th Parallel?
I like this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of like what you said. We've had a lot of ups and downs in the last 2 months. So compared to,
For only 2 months, you say?
well, that's the ones I can speak to most recently.
Yeah.
Because 2 months ago, I don't remember what we were watching. I just
Well,
know I didn't like it.
we had a ghoul school. Um,
Yeah, yeah, that's true. But even just recently with the Robesons and stuff like that,
yeah.
yeah, like I don't know. I thought this one was refreshing for a few reasons. One, it was in English,
Ooh.
which shouldn't
Uh,
be a mark of quality, but it is.
and it won't be the case for the next few weeks.
Well, exactly, exactly. It was in English,
Well,
and I
hey,
think,
but Bicycle Thieves was actually good.
yeah,
Like
no, and
actually a
that's
good.
what I mean. Like, the last couple months, like Bicycle Thieves was really good, and then there was one other movie that I think I kind of liked, but a lot of ups and downs, my man. So this one did kind of, uh, compared to some of the stuff we've been watching lately, I was like,
What,
man,
like symbiopsychotaxoplasm?
yeah, like symbiopsychotaxoplasm, like that kind of stuff.
What about clean shaven?
They were in English, which was good, but
That's
didn't
true.
help them much.
No.
Yeah, no, I was kind of like, I was like, hey, an actual movie, which I kind of liked. This
Ooh, actual
an
movie.
actual movie. It's just it's this is the kind of movie I feel like needs to be watched like on Sunday morning when you wake up and you're like kind of like lazy still and you're just kind of lying about and you throw this on. It'd be like if you're staying at your grandparents' house and you woke up in the morning and came out to the living room and your grandpa was just watching a movie. It would be something like this. And you would have no choice but to just kind of watch it with him. And when you're little, you wouldn't really get it. But then you would watch it when you're a little bit older and you'd be like, "Hey, I see why grandpa liked this movie." Is a grandpa movie for me, but
Hmm.
one of the ones that I think is a good example of that. So, yeah, I was surprised by it because I was just kind of like, hey, I like this. But I Powell and Pressburger, I think, are batting over 500 for us. I'm not gonna say 1,000 because I think there was one or two in there that we've seen so far that we were kind of like, eh.
The Tales of Hoffman.
Yes, Tales of Hoffman. But usually these dudes are down to clown.
These dudes.
These dudes. But I like that. I did like the World War II stuff. I liked. Um, I thought it was kind of a fun idea about these like bad dudes on the run, kind of just like encountering a bunch of different types of people. And I did fall for the Canadianism stuff.
Sure.
I know some people wouldn't because they're like, ah, whatever. But I was kind of like, I don't know. I like seeing Banff and I like them talking about Canada stuff because I don't know. I feel like people don't care about Canada. So
True.
it was nice to be seen, Jarrett. It
Finally.
was it was nice to be seen. So I like that. But and I did find like some of it's like I said, like it's very clear what they're doing, where it's like these Nazi guys walking around like preaching something and then encountering all these people that are just like, we know you think that's what it is, but they're like, just but look at what we are doing right now. He's like, we are living what you are preaching, and we don't have all the stuff that you claim to have, or claim to be doing. So it's very like uh, obvious what it is, but I still liked it for that. So yeah, I like this movie. It was good. It's good.
I'm just working on my list here, my ranked list, and
Mm.
my kind of invisible line of movie, like the last, like the bottom of my top 24 right now.
Mm-hmm.
77 is Equinox.
Equinox. I have it kind of close to Equinox too, but my list is a monstrosity.
Yeah. I also actually I really did like Emperor Jones.
Yeah,
So
that's just.
that's up on the higher side, but
Mm-hmm.
it just speaks to how unenjoyable I have found 50 of the last 75 movies.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah. There's some
it's
rough
gotta be.
shit in there.
It's gotta just keep being said. The 300s of the Criterion Collection are some of the worst films in the entire film oeuvre of Criterion, like without question, I think. But who knows? There could be surprises ahead of us that it gets even worse.
I mean, it's very possible.
No, can you imagine?
Probable, even.
Probable. I don't know. There's some good movies toward the end here, and then some good stuff in the four hundos. But man,
Yeah.
bottom of the barrel,
I mean, what are you gonna do?
the bottom,
The what?
the bottom.
Oh my god. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I liked it. Probably more than people would expect. But
Yeah, there's
does
nothing
that
to
say
dislike.
anything? No.
No.
No. It's like my opinion, man.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you want to hear from some opinions of
Why would
people
people
who
hate
apparently
this?
exactly.
Like,
Um,
it's so
let's see.
unoffensive
Yeah,
in what it is. But I mean, I guess that speaks to how bad the world is now, where people like there could be people sympathizing. It's like, listen, those six guys weren't that bad, and it's like, um, I don't know.
they were not Nazis. They're German soldiers
It's like,
from Nazi Germany with
but they
Hitler
were Nazis though.
pictures.
Apart from the baker, they
Yeah,
were all bad dudes.
they're very excited to
Yeah.
make sure those good ideas spread. I mean, again, that may be a a poor characterization of what it was really like. So,
I mean,
how about Arisnix?
oh
Half a
god.
star. Canadian propaganda that's pro-war and full of racial stereotypes and Canadian nation-building ideology. If you're interested in the formation of the white Canadian national identity circa 1941, worth a watch. Otherwise, avoid like the plague.
That's a dumb way to leave off on something. But I don't. What does he have against nationalism? Nationalism is not bad. Ultra nationalism is bad.
Nationalism's not great.
I mean, like you know what I mean though.
A
It's
lot, a
like
lot, a lot of isms aren't great.
state building. This person likes four films include favorites: Hard to Be a God from 2013, something called The Liquid Sky from 1982, and then we have Jodorowsky's Holy Mountain, and then a favorite film of this person is Salo.
Salo.
You want to talk about an ism?
Hey,
Salo is an ism.
I just clicked on their review for this. This is from like at the beginning of the month for Malcolm X, 2 stars. Did the
Oh,
CIA make this?
oh my god!
There you go. There you go.
What do you mean?
And then here's another one of the reviews for The Mitchells versus the Machines, an animated
Yeah.
children's film. It's a vomiting emoticon where they write, "I'm gay, and this made me hate myself even more." Lol. So
Okay, that's fine.
yeah,
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
I like their profile picture.
It's a cat.
Yeah,
Who doesn't like a good kitty?
and there you go. Alex Lovendahl.
Okay.
Somehow, a movie about killing Nazis one by one is also the first film by the Archers I'd call totally lifeless. Irritating side character after irritating side character wanders into this film and reiterates the point that yes, the Nazis don't see them as they really are either. But the film so poorly mismanages these stock tropes that every one of them is most definable by their ridiculous accent. Yeah.
I liked that though. That was what I got out of this. This person's from Nashville, and three people that I follow also follow this person, I guess. So whatever that means. But here's their bio. I don't hold back on any score. Top fives are not to be edited, barring an obvious forgotten omission, and work as a representation of a point in time. Top tens are standing records and will be edited to reflect as such at year's end. I block people who make lists like every movie ever, in the hopes that someday the list feature of this site will actually be usable.
Whoa.
So they fucking got him. They
Me.
smoked him, dude.
They smoked him.
They
How about
smoked him.
there's Simon Bergink whose review
Sure,
for one
there's.
star. Don't. That's like, what is this, RJ Bela?
Well, I mean that's pretty professional. Simon
Uh,
Burgink.
who cares about this one? But how about above it was Casra 90210, one star. Probably the best propaganda movie of all time, but still a propaganda movie.
I mean, propaganda has a place, no?
Yeah.
This is like this person's only review.
Oh.
And they have other 5-star films include Spider-Man 3, The Matrix Reloaded, uh, Spirited Away. And then half-star films include Batman Mask of the Phantasm, Commando, Bloodsport. These are half-star films, Jared.
Oh.
Allegedly.
Literally.
Bloodsport. Damn.
One more. James, 1.5.
Mm-hmm.
Laurence Olivier gives probably the single worst movie performance I have
No.
ever seen as a
No.
ridiculous French trapper. My accent is better than him. It's an interesting propaganda movie where the lost Nazi U-boat crew escapes through Canada and witnesses the decency of its people. Leslie Howard has a good scene, but it's mostly dated nonsense.
I mean, I actually liked Laurence Olivier's performance as French man. I thought it was fun. This person, one of their popular reviews is for Monsieur Hulot's Holiday. You remember that movie, Jared?
Yep.
Half a star. Fuck this movie in particular. That's all. That's all it is.
Uh, uh, Aleph Bethnal,
Mm-hmm.
1.5 star. For I guess I also want to mention the 49th parallel quote they came away with. Don't let him pull that law stuff.
What? Okay.
Probably when they're like letting him cross the border.
Oh yeah.
That law crap.
Good dear. Do you want to hear about this person's bio?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's got the word. It's got the phrase inductive theology in it.
Yep. See, I told you that's why I didn't want to hear about it.
Do
I
you know?
know. I knew better.
Do you know about inscriptive science?
No.
What about
No.
elusive art?
Uh
No. What
no.
about determinism as a metaphor?
I don't consent to this.
What
I
about
don't
plum blossom?
I didn't consent to this.
What about imaginary evil?
RJ.
Okay. I didn't say anything. You told me not to read the review. I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
The
Real
biome.
inductive philosophy over there, if I ever heard one.
Ooh, baby.
Bloody mnemonic mystery envelope. What do
Mm-mm-mm.
they mean?
What do they
What do they
mean?
mean? Oh dear.
Any
Okay.
final thoughts as we leave the 49th and move on to the 50th?
The 50th parallel? No, that's below us, dude. Do you got your passport?
Yeah.
Let's roll.
Do you?
Yeah, I got a passport. Are you driving?
I could. Where do you
Okay.
want to go?
To the 50th parallel. We
But
we
where?
already established this.
But where along it?
Yeah, along the
Where?
entire thing,
I mean,
start to finish.
start to finish?
Yeah,
My.
just like they did. There and back again.
Ooh, you know what's on the 50th parallel?
Hmm.
The Rhineland in Germany and Bavaria.
See, we can get some sausage in Bavaria because I think that's what they sell there, right?
Sausage. Ooh.
Fat sausages.
Actually,
Great.
Medicine Hat's on the 50th parallel.
Well, let's giddy up then. Giddy up.
Giddy up.
Giddy up. Burp, burp,
Giddy
burp,
up.
burp.
Giddy up. Giddy up. Giddy up.
I
Let's
think
go.
my cat is snoring behind me.
So that's that. Is it?
Yeah, I mean, I liked it more than I thought I would.
Okay.
I'd recommend it to people who like old World War II movies or French people.
For what? French Canadian RJ. Come on.
Well, French Canadian people, yeah. You
Yeah,
think I'm talking about France people? Get out of here.
Fran- the goofy French bastards.
Yeah, well, there's degrees of that.
Okay, all right then.
Hmm.
After the break, I'm gonna beat RJ in about the head on a
What?
train. Why are you? Because he's a Nazi.
What?
RJ, why are you a Nazi?
I'm not.